And so I call the dentist's office, and I realize that I'm gonna have to say out loud that the reason I'm having an issue is because I have bean skin stuck under my tooth. My throat just decided to start bothering me randomly when I'm trying to record, so I just drank a whole bunch of water, and I'm going to hope that that fixes it. So today, we're going to duplicate some concrete powder yet again, and I think we're just going to do these four. We're going to do black and white, and incidentally, in English, we'll talk to things about black and white as being right and wrong, and we're also going to do light gray and gray, because things aren't always black and white. Sometimes there are shades of gray, and there are two in Minecraft, so that technically makes it shades. That technically makes it shades of gray and not shade of gray. And it's raining, because of course it's raining. Why would it not be raining? Actually, is this glitched rain? I think the clouds indicate that this... I think this is a bug. Very cool. Very cool. Glad that that is something that is going on. Are you the... Yeah, I saw you before. Do I want glowstone? No. I just need to duplicate. I need to duplicate this concrete powder. That is what I need to focus on. Why is there a random baby cow? Where are your parents? Well, I can't just leave him here, now can I? Of course, I try to take care of things, and no, I can't. I can't just leave this infant child here. Come on, child. I swear, if I get to the Nether to duplicate my concrete powder, and your mom, or dad, or both are there, I am going to be mildly perplexed as to what the solution should be. In retrospect, maybe it's my fault, because maybe I need to shield the Nether portal more. Anyway, I'll take you in here. I could just tie you up, but I feel like that would be mean, so I'm gonna at least take you inside. Inside the barn. Come on. Come on, do not dilly-dally. I do not want the sheep getting out. Take you inside the barn. Daisy will keep you company. Probably. Alright. Daisy, make sure the new kid doesn't cause any trouble. Thank you. Alright, back on to my mission. My mission to duplicate concrete powder. Because I have not checked how long it's been since I started duplicating items, but I'm sure that if I looked at the date that I posted the first duplication video, I would be very, very unhappy with the fact that it has taken me this long and I'm still not done. And I am very much tired of having plans and not finding the time to follow through on them. And the reason I'm going to do all four is that way I then do not have to worry. Right, I have to flick the levers. I have to activate the levers. Otherwise, they will not do the thing that I need them to do. That is the entire point of the levers, is to power the drip leaf. I mean, they also help avoid the pieces of concrete powder staying unbroken, but it has occurred to me when I'm done duplicating, I don't know what I should do with this setup. Because in my other worlds, I've just kind of let the drip leaves be, which I guess makes sense in the event that I want to duplicate more gravity blocks, but it's... At the very least, I think I could come in and clean this up, because the levers... The mix of levers and slabs and torches, it's a bit unsightly, and I feel like there's a way that I could make this appear just the slightest bit more organized. But anyway, I don't want to have to deal with the taking everything down by turning off the levers and then turning them back on so that I can refill the drip leaves with stuff. So, I mean, it'll take me longer to get a full shulker box of any one of the concrete powders, but I think overall I will get this filled faster than if I was doing just one at a time, because at the very least, this initial start is gonna go faster. I think anyway. That's the way I'm hoping for this to work. But anyway, the reason I started out with talking about right and wrong and shades of gray therein, is because thanks to everyone who watched the latest lore video, we are now at 1,000 subscribers and we are now partially monetized. So according to the laws of being a Minecraft YouTuber, that means that it is now time to sell out. And I think that there is a right way to sell out and there is a wrong way to sell out. Okay, so funny story that's actually not that funny. So you know how I was having issues with my throat acting up? That led me to end up taking a much longer time to record the video, but I was recording before this one. And it took me so long, in fact, that even though the people I live with were going to be gone for a while, I got interrupted with a phone call from them telling me that they were on their way home. So, this is on a completely different day. In fact, if what I'm looking at is indeed the date code, it's actually a completely different month. So, yeah. Oh, right, and I forgot. Relogging does the same thing as going through the nether portal. I need to make sure these items do not disappear. That would be extremely unhelpful. Mr. Hoglund, please, can you please... Please, I just need to get the items. This platform is way too narrow. I now have to figure out how many of each I can put on without it making things too unbalanced. I think that's close enough. It's mostly close enough. It's not very pretty, but it'll get the job done. And it's still raining even after a relog, so maybe it's not glitched rain. Maybe it's normal rain. I'm pretty sure you're the same wandering traitor. No, I can't get distracted. I can't get distracted. It's already taking me over a month to get this video done. I cannot have distractions. I mean, I kinda gave up on the idea that I would be able to, record this video in the way that I'd been planning since, I got interrupted a month ago. And frankly, I don't know that I really had that much to say about selling out, cause, I don't think it's quite the time for me to sell out anyway. Again with the standing on the concrete powder. Why? Anywho, I know I started talking about selling out and there being a right way and a wrong way and shades of gray as to how you go about it, but, you know what, we'll talk about that later. Right now I need to talk about what went wrong, cause, like I said, my throat started bothering me, and, that was my indication, number one, that, that day was not going to go to plan. Oh hey, it stopped raining! Nice! Anyway, I am gonna have to ask that you be patient as I tell this story, because I am trying to remember stuff about a month after the fact. Anywho, I think what I was trying to record before I started recording for this video, I think I was recording the voiceover for my last lore video. And it took me a while to get that done, because like I said, I was having issues with my throat. I was trying to drink water. I was even using throat lozenges, which I try not to do. But I definitely needed it, and it helped a bit. It helped enough that I felt comfortable starting, but again, like I said, I then got interrupted by the people I live with coming home. So that kind of was it. Because they came home, and then I was hungry anyway, and I'm like, you know what, I just need to accept that more recording is not going to be happening today, and it is what it is. It's disappointing, but I will live. There are worse things in life than not being able to record yourself yapping while playing Minecraft. But unfortunately, that was not the worst thing to happen that day. That day for, I don't remember if it was lunch, if it was dinner. Honestly, it might have been both. I had chili, which ordinarily isn't a problem. But, if you've had chili, then you know that there's usually... I guess I shouldn't assume what's in most people's chili, but when I eat chili, usually there's beans. And usually beans aren't a problem. And before I go any further, I guess I should say whatever problem you're thinking I might have had with beans, it's a completely different problem. One that I did not foresee happening in the slightest. Anyway, I think I can safely assume that most, if not all, people listening have probably consumed some type of bean in their life. But even if you haven't, just the important thing you need to know for this story about a bean is that it has like a skin type of thing on the outside. And I'm sure there's gonna be like some bean scientist in my comments saying, actually, it's called the Flerbaglurgen, and it's just occurred to me that sounds of those syllables might end up being a word in some other language, like German. But anyway, just they'll end up saying that it's some sort of fancy name in my comments, assuming that that type of person watches these videos. I don't know what the name is for the skin of a bean. I just know that it has a skin, and the skin is what caused me the issue. And I just know there's somebody that is also preparing to type furiously in the comments. In fact, it might even be the bean scientist who is going to say, Mask, bean skin is so incredibly small. How could it possibly cause you an issue? To which I say, that's the reason it was an issue. Because like I said, bean skin is incredibly small, and so it's very easy for it to get stuck in places that would be very bad, such as, oh, I don't know, underneath your gums. And like, honestly, I'm not even sure how it happened. It's just, I know that like that night I went to go brush my teeth, and I suddenly noticed, as I was flossing my teeth, as you do when you try to take good care of your dental hygiene, I noticed that there was a spot on my gums that was dark. And I didn't think anything of it. I'm just like, oh yeah, that's right, I had chili. Clearly this is just some errant piece of bean skin. I will simply grab a hold of it using my fingernail and pull it out. Because, there was some that was exposed, and so I figured, you just snag it and get it out, and, that'll be the end of the story. Unfortunately for me, that was not the end of the story. Because instead of my fingernail doing the sensible thing and snagging the bean skin and getting it out of my gums, it somehow pushed it further under my gum line. And, you might be able to guess from the way that I speak and just generally the way I conduct myself that it does not take a lot for me to start catastrophizing and imagining the worst case scenario of what could happen. I'm like, oh no, I shoved it up further. I'm going to end up, no matter what I do, I'm just going to end up shoving it further, and I'm never going to get this bean skin out of my tooth. And, what if it starts causing decay? This is going to be a problem. So I tried to get it with my fingernail. That didn't work. So then I tried to, like, get some dental floss. That didn't work. I even, the people I live with, one of them has those, like, dental picks. And so, they gave me one. Not a used one, obviously. They gave me a new one to try to use. And, it didn't work. I even used the pointy end. All that I achieved was I just made my gums bleed because I was poking them with the pointy end. Nothing I was doing was getting this bean skin out. But, I go to bed because at that point, like I said, I was brushing my teeth, getting ready for bed. So it was late, and I'm like, you know what, maybe there's a chance that my body, my gums, will identify the bean skin as a foreign object, and they will simply push it out and away, and I will be perfectly fine, and it will resolve itself. So I was uneasy, but I went to bed that night. In fact, to illustrate just how uneasy I was from this whole ordeal, I actually had a dream that night about the bean skin being under my gums. Now, in this dream, incidentally, I somehow managed to successfully get the bean skin out from under the gum line. I don't know how, because I think I literally just did something like used my fingernail and it was fine, like what I thought was going to happen the first time. And it was super strange because, like with a lot of dreams that are about something that's on your mind, I woke up and I wasn't sure if the dream had actually happened or not. And so I went to the bathroom, looked in the bathroom mirror, and the bean skin was still there. So obviously the problem was still not resolved. So this is the point at which I started panicking. In fact, now that I think about it, I think maybe it was the morning, actually, that one of the people I live with gave me a dental pick. I think, like the floss pick, I think that's the day they gave one to me, and then I stabbed at my gums until they bled. I should clarify, it's not like I just errantly stabbed them. I was actively trying to, like, dig the bean skin out of my gums, well, out from under my gums, and if anything, it just seemed like I was pushing it in further, and so I went back to the string floss, and it's like, I could barely see the bean skin at this point. At this point, it kind of looked like a slightly darker portion of my gums. If I didn't know to look for the bean skin, I wouldn't have even clocked with it was there. The only indication that something was awry was when I used the string floss on that particular tooth, and I got up close to where the bean skin was, it started to hurt. And that was when I really started to panic. Because now I'm thinking, oh no, was that long enough that, like, my tooth has started to decay? Is the gum irritated? What's going on? And so I'm panicking, and the same person who gave me the dental pick, says, hey, let's just call your dentist and see if they can fit you in and get this resolved. Because, like, the dentist will know what to do, or maybe even just one of the assistants, one of them will be able to get this resolved. And so I call the dentist's office, and I realize that I'm gonna have to say out loud that the reason I'm having an issue is because I have bean skin stuck under my tooth. Which just sounds so incredibly silly. And, like, I am full on panicking, because, like I said, I am very concerned about losing this tooth. It's actually my front tooth, which, all your teeth are kind of important. It's kind of awful to lose any of them, but I feel like that tooth especially would be extremely bad to lose. And it does not help that this specific tooth, I actually chipped it the tiniest bit. It's not enough to, like, warrant having the dentist actually, like, do anything about it per se, but, like, it's enough that I remember to be careful when I bite into stuff, if that makes sense. Fortunately for me, when it comes to emotion, my brain is far more responsive to fear than embarrassment, so, I toughened up and I told the person on the phone that I had bean skin stuck under my gum line, and I tried to get it out, and I couldn't. And as I'm talking to them on the phone, I'm like, oh no, they're not going to be able to get me in until, like, way later this week, if it's even this week. Now, fortunately, I didn't have to, like, be in at work that day, so, my day was open, and of course I had called in the morning, and so the earliest appointment they had was in the afternoon. I do not remember exactly what time, but it's like, yes, I will be in. I will be in to get this resolved and get this fixed. This is awful, it is embarrassing, but my tooth will be saved. And then I start having the thought, what if the dentist can't get it out? And of course I have no reason to doubt my dentist's ability, because it's not just me that goes there. The people I live with also go there, and one of the people I live with, they had to have, like, extensive things done. There were even procedures they needed done that, like, other dentists had kind of, like, ignored them and been like, oh, that pain is all in your head, it's not a real problem. But this dentist was good and, like, actually figured out the problem, got it resolved and handled. So, like, I know this dentist can do the job, but like I said, when I start panicking, I start catastrophizing. Catastrophizing. Yes, that's the way you pronounce it. Is that the way you pronounce it, Mr. Hoglin? I'm going to take that as a yes. Anyway, so I know this dentist is competent. They can do the job. And so I have no reason to panic, but I'm still panicking until we get to the office. There is one more fear I forgot to address that I had. So I wasn't just afraid that they weren't going to be able to get it out because I had failed, and so I was afraid that other people would fail. I was also afraid that they just, like, wouldn't believe me? Like, it sounds super weird to say that you got a piece of bean skin stuck under your gum line, right? Like, that sounds extremely strange. And for as long as I've been alive, it was the first time that this has happened to me. Like, I feel like if this was a thing that commonly happens, it should have happened sooner. But anyway, we get to the dentist's office, and it's a drive. It's a drive, so I had the entire drive to sit and panicking, thinking about what could go wrong. When we get there, they call me back, and I see the assistant. And it's not just the fact that, like, getting bean skin stuck under your gums, that's not just that made me doubt whether they would believe me. Like I said, at this point, I had shoved it so far up my gums that it now just started to look like some piece of my gum was discolored. I was starting to be afraid that maybe they would think that the bean skin wasn't even there. But anyway, the assistant was fortunately very nice, and she asked me to show her where it was, and so I showed her, explained the situation, and she took a look, and she's like, yep, I can see that, but I'm just gonna take some x-rays, make sure there's nothing going on, because, I guess it makes sense to take x-rays, because, like, I'm saying that it's from bean skin, but I guess for all they know, maybe people lie about it being bean skin or something caught under the gums, and maybe it's like decay. Because like I said, at this point, it just looked like a darkened section of my gum. So, like, for all they knew, maybe there was some, like, tooth decay underneath the gum line, which would also be, like, very bad. Like, that would be significantly worse than just having some errant food particles be stuck under there. But anyway, she took the x-rays, and the x-rays all looked normal. And she said that she would show them to the dentist, but she figured, until the dentist, because the dentist was busy with other patients, because like I said, this was like an emergency dental appointment, so the dentist was busy. So the assistant was like, "Hey, you know what? I think I can get this resolved." And like I said, I've been panicking this whole time, thinking they're not going to believe me, thinking they're not going to be able to get it done. And like at this point, at least I have the reassurance that yes, they do believe me, and they've identified that yes, it is an errant food particle, it's not decay. They believe me, and they're gonna try to get it resolved. So now the only thing that really needs to be resolved is my fear that they're not gonna be able to get it out. And she's like, "Hey, by the way, I'm gonna have to probably really dig in there with the floss, because she's using string floss, and she's also using the little metal stick thingy to try and dig in there." And she's like, "Hey, so I'm gonna have to dig in there, so it's gonna be a little uncomfortable, but if the pain gets too much, just raise your hand and I'll stop, okay?" That's the other thing I really appreciate about this dentist office, is I feel like they're way more attentive to making sure that you specifically are not extremely uncomfortable, because I feel like I've been around certain dentists where they're like, "It's okay, the pain stuff will kick in, you don't have to worry about it, just relax, just hold on." But at this office, they're very concerned with, "Hey, is this too much for you?" And I really appreciate that about them. And I mean, as tough as I am, I'm like most people. I am not a fan of going to the dentist, so having a dentist's office that takes your pain seriously is always appreciated. I guess this is probably also a good time to mention that I am very pain averse. So when she's saying, "Hey, there's a chance it's going to get very painful, just lift your hand and let me know if it's going to be too painful," at this point, I'm very much bracing up. I am tense. I am afraid that this is going to be the worst experience of my life. Because after all, what started out as my throat bothering me and not being able to record as much as I wanted to, it has now escalated into fear over my tooth being damaged permanently. So anyway, she's poking, she's flossing. It's not what I would describe as painful per se. It was uncomfortable, but not painful, if that makes sense. And so I'm sitting there with my mouth open, because there's nothing else you can do when you're at a dentist office, waiting as she works. And I don't have a watch, and I don't think there was a clock in that part of the office, so I wasn't able to tell how long it took. But I want to say that, in about the span of maybe 5-ish minutes, okay, maybe 10 to 15 if I'm counting from when I, entered the office. Maybe from that time it was 10 to 15 minutes, and it was done. She'd gotten the piece of beanskin out. I had spent so much time panicking and catastrophizing, thinking that things were going to end terribly, and to just have her be able to fix the situation in 15-ish minutes, I was relieved, but I was also kind of just in disbelief. And it's not that I didn't trust her, but I needed to know for my own peace of mind. So I was like, "Hey, I just want to look at the picture that you took," because in addition to the x-rays, she had also taken a picture to be able to show the dentist. And I was just I just want to make sure we're talking about the same spot. And yep, it was the same spot. And in fact, she even showed me the piece of beanskin that she had taken out. And yep, that was definitely it. And she acknowledged that yeah, it was pretty large. I mean, we're still talking about an object that's smaller than a pinky fingernail, but it to be stuck under the gum line, that's still pretty big. And so, leaving that office and seeing that there was solid proof that the issue had been resolved, I definitely felt relief. And maybe also just the slightest bit of embarrassment, because it didn't take her that long. In fact, I didn't even see the actual dentist. The assistant was able to handle the whole thing. It took her just a couple minutes, and I had been struggling at this since the prior night, and she just took care of it. And I guess that goes to show the real value of hiring professionals to handle stuff, especially when for some reason you're struggling to handle it yourself. And it has occurred to me that even though I am talking about a different subject than what I was originally intending, duplicating these concrete colors still kind of works, because teeth are white and decay is usually black, I mean, I think usually if your teeth are miscolored, they don't end up a shade of gray. Usually they end up yellow, but I guess gray is a potential color? And of course I had to relog again because this is just my life right now. Okay, and that's done. Now I can resume. Wait, do we have substantially more dark gray? Eh, I guess it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I won't worry about it. On the bright side, I think I am ready to resume what I originally wanted to talk about, which was the right and wrong way to sell out. And I am already anticipating that some people are going to say in response that there really is no right way to sell out, because if you're doing it right, then it's not actually selling out. But I just think it's helpful to have the term anyway. There must have been a Hoglin hunt or something. Anyway, I just think it's useful to be able to call something the right way, because I feel like that makes it easier to highlight when it's done wrongly. I don't know how to English good right now. My brain is not equipped to handle that at this moment. And I'm not gonna name names, but, you know, there have been some fairly recent examples of people engaging in behavior that could be construed as selling out, and I would argue selling out in the wrong way. But, you know, I've also heard it said that, you know, if you focus on what something shouldn't be, and that's all you do, it's hard to focus on what you should do. So I will highlight what I consider to be a good example of selling out, at least when it comes to, like, YouTube. And I don't know that I've ever talked about this individual I have in mind as a good example. I don't think I've ever talked about this person in my videos directly. I know I did mention this person in either a comment or a description of one of my videos. And I never really addressed this person being what I thought was a good example of selling out in the right way. I did acknowledge this person as being a major contributing factor to me starting my YouTube channel. And I know that this person also inspired a lot of other people in various ways. And the person I'm talking about is Technoblade. And, you know, in the interest of transparency, it's not like I had known of Technoblade for a very long time. Like, I wasn't there when he started. I only just, I think, learned about his channel in, like, 2020, where, you know, everyone was kind of, stuck inside watching YouTube for reasons. And I could talk about how he's, you know, one of the motivations behind me starting my YouTube channel, but that's a story for another day. Specifically, I want to talk about the way that I think he did selling out right. And maybe it's because, you know, as people will say, it's because he didn't technically sell out, but, you know, he literally used a sellout timer, so I don't think it's necessarily inappropriate then for me to say that he sold out, but in the right way. And, you know, I think that's probably the difference when it comes to selling out in the right way or selling out in the wrong way. Because even when Technoblade was selling out, like, it was part of the fun. It wasn't just, you know, extracting money from people for the sake of getting more money. It was to make it funny. I mean, there's also the fact that he somehow managed to make the advertisement subscribe to Technoblade. He managed to make that, like, a very funny joke to repeat, and, like, you know, if you look at it on the face of it, that is selling out, because it's motivating people to subscribe. But, you know, it was funny. It didn't feel gross the way some attempts to sell out do. And the thing is, as much as I admire Technoblade, and because of it, I don't want to just copy-paste what he did. And also, listen, subscribe to Technoblade I think works because subscribe to is 3 syllables, and Technoblade is 3 syllables. So it works. But Amaranth and Mask, that's 5 syllables. That is entirely too many syllables. If I could go back and change my name, I probably should have made it be something much shorter. But, you know, what's done is done. I can't change the past. But it's like, even if my name were 3 syllables, I think, knowing that I would be basing it upon what Technoblade did, to just copy-paste it, it wouldn't feel good, if that makes any sense. And fortunately, I've seen the retention on these types of videos, so I know there's only like 5 people listening to me at this point, and at least 2 of them are probably my friends who are watching out of pity. so I don't have to worry about too many random strangers listening to me talk about Technoblade. So anyway, I'm trying to figure out how to, quote unquote sell out, but in the right way. And I think the conclusion I'm arriving at is that it is not quite time to sell out. Because I still can't think of a way to do it in a way that's purely mine and not just me being a cheap imitation of someone else. I mean, I still can't even think of what makes for a good intro saying. I think my outro, until next time, take care. Don't leave. Don't leave, by the way. Don't believe, by the way, that was just me giving an example. That is not the actual end of the video. As I was saying, I figured out what my exit phrase is, but I haven't figured out a good welcome to the video type of thing to say. And I until I can at least figure out that kind of thing, I don't think I have the right to try and figure out how to get people to repeatedly, consistently send me money. I did the bare minimum necessary to enable channel memberships, but there's not a whole lot there. I did add some emojis. I'm not too attached to them though, because I don't know that I'm super happy with them, and I have no idea what to do for custom channel member badges. So I guess to that effect, if you have any suggestions for what would be a cool thing to center channel member badges on, I would appreciate suggestions, but if not, no worries, because like I said, I think maybe I just need to allow more time to think about stuff. I mean, there's also the fact that my upload schedule has not been the best. I've been trying lately to kind of just have it as alright, I need to send out one video per month, bare minimum, because, that's 12 videos per year. That should be incredibly doable. Keyword should. I think the thing is, I've kind of underestimated the ways that life would just kind of interfere with my plans. Not least of which was, if you were looking at the community tab and you saw my posts, you would be aware that, I think, was it end of 22, I got laid off, and so 2023, I had to get a new job, and, I have stories I could tell about the new job, but I have to figure out what I can say and how I can say it without just kind of getting myself into trouble. So, I think probably the best way I can communicate how the job has been going is, by using some pop culture references, because we all love those just so much. If you happen to have watched Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, and Vader is all, "I have altered the deal, pray I do not alter it further." Okay, I promise that, before I started recording, I had, a second reference in mind. But now that I've hit the record button, somehow it has left my mind. I'm gonna remember it, 5 years from now at, 3 a.m., and that's the only time I'm going to remember it. And it's going to haunt me until that time. But anyway, suffice to say, I think I'm probably going to have to be looking for a different occupation fairly soon. And, that's another reason why I don't feel super good about the idea of selling out right now, because if I have to get another job, I don't know how that's going to affect my ability to find time to make videos, because, already things are not optimal, for that. So, I don't know. We'll have to see what happens, I guess, and cross that bridge when we get there. And we're very close to being done. I might... There's quite a bit more white concrete powder. Maybe that's fine. I mean, I'll need white for stuff. Unless I should replace some of the white. I'll think about it after next time. I'll think about it after the next couple jumps. But, anyway, even if I am going to have to get a new job and that alters my ability to post, I just, so you're aware, in case you, haven't seen my posts, or even if you have seen my posts and you've seen how long ago they were posted and you still haven't seen videos and you're concerned, Just so we're clear, I am still working on the 200 days video. In fact, after I'm done editing this and making sure that it's ready to be posted this week, I'm gonna go back to working on that video. So it is coming down the pipeline, even if it takes me a while. I am very committed to it not taking me 2 years like the previous 100 days video. I would very much like to not repeat that. Again with the Hoglins. Why do you do this? Why do you choose to be the way that you are? Anyway, so the 200 days video is coming down the pipeline, but I've also been thinking I may post it before I finish the 200 days video, just because, I know it's gonna still take me quite a bit to do all the editing and stuff. But I have been thinking, like I said, of doing that YouTuber thing where I take all of the little videos that made up the lore series and I make them into one giant video. I'm thinking it might be nice if I, record, just the tiniest, introduction thing at the beginning. Just, so that there's a little bit of value added. Oh, trying to replace these with another color is going to be a pain. You know what? If I have extra white concrete powder, it's fine. Anywho, I was thinking of adding, a little extra, maybe introduction, or something to what I'm going to make of the large lore video. And just so we're clear, I'm not just making this incredibly large video just to, stall and buy some more time to work on the 200 days video. I also need more watch hours to qualify for ad monetization. But like I said, I'm not gonna fully sell out yet, because it is not the time. I need to provide more value before I can ethically sell out. I think one more time should do it for the concrete powder. Maybe I'll do 2 just to be safe. And I've talked about it quite a bit less, but once I'm done with the 200 days video, assuming that I have the time and nothing drastic happens in the interim, I do have plans for another peaceful mode series. And again, since I know there's only 3 people watching at this point, I feel safe telling you all. I am very much considering the possibility of giving Java Edition peaceful mode a shot, especially because I may or may not have been playing on a Java server, playing some minigames, and I still feel that a controller is much more, comfortable in what I'm suited to for playing, but I've kind of gotten accustomed to playing on a keyboard, and it's not as awful as I was expecting it to be. So I may be doing a peaceful mode Java Edition series, provide nothing absurd happens. Why are you like this? So anywho, feel free to keep an eye out for that, because that, again, provided nothing bizarre happens, that will be coming down the pipeline eventually. And I mean, there's also the usual, oh hey, am I gonna make a seed video for the upcoming update? And I have been looking for seeds. I have been hunting. I do not know when that video will be available, because, I usually, in theory, I could check stuff out with the preview now and make that video now, but when possible, I prefer to wait until the actual, full release is available. Just in the event that they end up changing something and it ends up, messing with generation, even of the, structures around it. Because I try to highlight, when I make my seed videos, I try to highlight structures that I think are going to be, important. I mean, I don't use them because I'm on peaceful mode, but I'm sure that people appreciate knowing where there's dungeons, even in peaceful mode, because that's kind of, the only way to get certain music discs. Actually, it's kind of the only way to get music discs in peaceful mode is to go to the structures that have them. Again, this Hoglin. Alright, now I have to see, how much do I need of the other 3 colors? So I need, stack in some. Okay, so I need more black to be placed, at least. Okay, so that's all of them. I think I'll just grab some from the shulkers to fill up the rest of the drip leaf. Okay, well, those are filled, so we are very close to being done, and then I can put these 4 shulker boxes away. And was that enough times for us to be done? I guess we'll find out. Are there any? Nope, there are none that fell down here. Very cool. Okay, yeah, we're definitely done. Maybe I should not have jumped that many times. I mean, I guess it doesn't hurt to have extra because these are neutral colors, and neutral colors will go with anything, I guess. So now it's time to empty the leaves. One last round to pick them all up. And I guess I'll just switch them all back on again as a gift to future me, cause why not? I'm sure future me will appreciate it, regardless of whether or not she remembers this moment specifically. Alright, and I think that tops off all of the shulker boxes. So, now we can take these back and put them in the barrel with all of the other shulker boxes. I really do need to make like a bridge or something, because this is just ever so slightly annoying. I mean, it's less painful with the elytra, I will say that. Okay, and the shulker boxes go... Okay, really? This is how we did it? Okay, I think... You know what, I think the shulker boxes should go in one barrel, and I put the excess in a different barrel, because I think I'm gonna end up having like excess of every color, unless, yeah, because a barrel is 27 slots, so that's not, with the 16 dyed colors, I would need 32 slots. I mean, I guess, you know what, yeah, you know what, yeah, that's what I'll do, is I'll put black and white in a different barrel, and I'll have the colors be in this one. So the colors will be there, and the neutrals will be down here. Maybe I'll stick brown in here if there's not enough space in the color barrel. Yeah, that works. That works. There we go. I'm not sure how exactly I'm going to group together these 8 remaining colors, but until next time, take care.